I'd just like to say that Carole and I are absolutely delighted by today's announcement.
Sure what I'm able to bring. It's what all these very brave ladies tell me. It's seeing this belief.
Carole Middleton just made a move that's got people talking non-stop, and word is it hit Queen Camilla hard, like really hard. Insiders are whispering that this situation is way messier than anyone expected, and behind those palace doors, emotions are running wild. What did Carole actually do to shake things up this badly? And is this the start of a deeper royal clash nobody saw coming? We're breaking down the tension, the secrets, and the bold decision that's got the monarchy looking unstable right now. Let's talk about the two women right at the center of all this drama. On one side, you've got Carole Middleton, someone many see as the quiet strategist behind one of the smartest social climbs ever. On the other side, Queen Camilla, a woman who fought through years of public backlash and still made it to the top. Carole played the long, patient game, while Camilla pushed through being labeled the villain until people finally stopped complaining as much. Two very different paths, but both got results. Carole Middleton, born Carole Elizabeth Goldsmith in January 1955 in Southall, West London, didn't come from wealth at all. Her background was working class, nothing flashy, nothing handed to her, but she had something powerful. She knew how to read people and situations like a pro. That skill alone helped her move through life with serious intention. She worked as a flight attendant for British Airways, and that's where she met Michael Middleton. Together, they built Party Pieces, a mail-order party supply business that turned into serious money. When her daughter Catherine started dating Prince William in the early 2000s, Carole didn't just sit back and watch things unfold. Not at all. She stepped in, shaped the environment, and made sure the Middletons looked like they belonged in royal circles. And guess what? It worked. In April 2011, Catherine married Prince William at Westminster Abbey, and Carole was right there in the front row, looking completely at ease like she'd always been part of that world. Now look at Queen Camilla's journey. It wasn't smooth at all. She loved Charles for decades, but their relationship went through affairs, divorces, public scandals, and the devastating loss of Princess Diana. That moment turned the public strongly against her. For years, Camilla was seen as the most disliked woman in Britain, with approval ratings that were shockingly low. She got blamed for breaking the fairy tale people believed in. The public painted her as the villain, and that image stuck for a long time. But Camilla didn't fold. She stayed, endured, and slowly rebuilt her image. By the time Charles became king in September 2022, she stood beside him as queen. She made it. But even now, sources say she's never felt fully secure in that role. Older palace insiders still remember the years when her reputation was at its worst, and the younger ones know how fast things can change. And Carole Middleton? She understands exactly how to spot and use that kind of insecurity. What happened next between these two women is something the palace definitely didn't want getting out. For nearly 2 decades, Carole and Camilla kept things polite in public. Smiles, small talk, and just enough distance to avoid real connection. They showed up at the same events, played their roles, and kept it moving. But behind closed doors, totally different energy. Sources say there was never real trust between them. It was more like a quiet standoff, masked as politeness. Think about it. Years of exchanging looks while pretending everything's fine over tea that nobody even wanted. The tension didn't just appear overnight either. It goes way back to when Kate was still just William's girlfriend. Back then, Camilla was reportedly questioning whether the Middletons really fit into royal life. No one can confirm the exact words, but royal biographers have pointed out a noticeable chill between the families even before the wedding. Penny Junor, who spent years studying the royal circle, said palace staff viewed the Middletons as too eager. They were seen as overly polished, always thinking ahead, always planning. And that label stuck. The only reason things didn't blow up earlier is because everyone had reasons to keep it together. William loved Kate. Kate stayed close to her parents, and Charles already had enough family drama to deal with. But now, Carole seems to have flipped the script completely. Reports suggest she made a move involving royal events that the palace sees as a straight-up insult. Details are still unclear, but the talk is that Carole is keeping the Wales family away from events where Camilla would be front and center. That's a bold move, like seriously bold. It's not every day someone sidelines the queen like that. But Carole doesn't seem to care. It's almost like she's saying if she's not in control, she's stepping back entirely. Whether she's being strategic or just protecting her daughter's time and energy, the impact is the same. Camilla noticed. And apparently, it didn't just annoy her, it hurt. People close to Camilla say she's been asking if this distance is intentional. That kind of question says a lot. Imagine being a queen and still feeling like you're getting ignored on purpose. It's giving real, left-out energy, and that's wild considering the title she holds. What makes this even more intense is how Camilla found out about it. Inside the palace, people rarely speak openly. It's all about silence and control. But sometimes, things slip out. And lately those leaks are painting a picture of a queen who feels more alone than people realize. According to a 2024 report from The Mirror, Camilla didn't hear about Carole's decision from official channels or even from Catherine. She found out through a third party, basically quiet gossip passed along in a way that hits harder because it's indirect. When she heard, she didn't lash out, she didn't argue, she just went quiet. Sources say she sat there, barely speaking, clearly shaken. People in the room described her as completely rattled. One insider even said she looked broken, not irritated, not just upset, broken. And if that word is even close to accurate, it says everything about how fragile her position might really be right now. She spent 50 years fighting to stand where she is now. She pushed through public hate, survived endless comparisons to Diana, and carried on while the whole country judged her every move. And yet, somehow, a decision made by her stepson's mother-in-law was enough to bring her to tears. That raises one big question. How does Carole Middleton hold that kind of power? Royal analysts say the answer is simple but brutal. The Wales household is the future of the monarchy. William and Catherine are the faces people trust. The next chapter everyone is watching. So if Carole is really pulling her family out of Camilla's orbit, that's not just personal, it's strategic. It sends a message that no polished statement can smooth over, and everyone in the palace heard it loud and clear. What made it hit even harder? Total silence. No call, no explanation, nothing to soften the situation. Reports say Camilla actually waited for someone, anyone, to reach out and fix things, but that moment never came. And just like that, what could have been a small issue turned into something permanent. Now insiders are asking if this was ever meant to be repaired at all. Carole Middleton doesn't move randomly. Every step is planned. This is someone who has been thinking ahead for decades, not just reacting in the moment. While some royal parents fade into the background, Carole stayed visible, even when her business, Party Pieces, went into administration in 2023. She didn't disappear. She adjusted, shifted direction, and kept her presence strong. She rebuilt her image, stayed connected, and made sure the right people were always within reach. It's like she's playing chess while others are stuck playing simple games. Imagine a business collapsing and still managing to present yourself as a lifestyle expert. That takes serious confidence. Some might question it, but you can't ignore how effective it's been. Then everything changed in early 2024. The Princess of Wales revealed her cancer diagnosis, and it shook the entire country. Catherine stepped back from public duties, and Carole stepped in without hesitation. She was reportedly at Windsor ex-Sherrod, helping with the children and supporting the family through a very heavy time. In the public eye, Carole became the steady figure holding everything together. Suddenly, people stopped calling her calculating and started seeing her as a devoted grandmother. That image shift was powerful, and she handled it carefully, like something that could break if pushed too far. But let's be real, the version people see in magazines is always polished. Interviews in 2024 painted her as someone focused only on family and quiet moments. But those close to the situation know there's more to it. Carole didn't stop being strategic, she just changed how it looked. It's impressive how quickly public opinion can flip. Years of careful positioning seemed to fade, replaced by warm photos and family-focused stories. The perfect grandmother image became a strong shield, and it worked. But behind that softer image, the same sharp thinking was still there. That's what makes her so difficult to challenge, even for someone like Camilla. Carole can be fully present for her family while still thinking several steps ahead. Those two sides don't cancel each other out. They work together. And while the public focused on her supportive role, behind the scenes, things were shifting. During Catherine's recovery, sources say Carole became more involved in deciding which royal duties were suitable and which ones weren't. And those decisions quietly created distance. That distance became noticeable. Appearances involving the Wales family and Camilla reportedly became less frequent, less connected, and less natural. People close to Camilla picked up on it quickly, and it didn't go unnoticed emotionally either. Of course, the palace hasn't confirmed any of this. Officially, everything is calm, controlled, and perfectly fine. Public appearances continue with polite smiles and no visible tension. But that's exactly what the royal system is designed to do: keep everything looking stable, no matter what's happening underneath. Still, observers who follow closely are starting to connect the dots. One moment on its own might seem harmless, but put them together and a pattern starts to form. Catherine's return to public life in 2024 has been very controlled, focused on her own causes, with noticeably fewer shared moments involving Camilla than expected. In royal terms, even basic politeness can be mistaken for closeness. Just appearing together without tension is often seen as a success, which says a lot about how low the bar can be behind the scenes. Historians like Dr. Ed Owens have pointed out that relationships between royal households have always been layered and complicated. Writing for The Guardian in 2023, he explained that balancing different interests within the monarchy has always been one of its biggest internal challenges. And right now, that challenge is even more intense. The passing of Queen Elizabeth removed the one person who could quietly settle disputes with real authority. King Charles wants to hold things together, but his health limits how much he can manage directly. Without that central figure, each household is operating more independently, and that doesn't always lead to harmony. What's happening between Carole and Camilla may be part of that bigger shift, a system trying to adjust without its strongest anchor. Timing is making everything worse. King Charles is also dealing with a cancer diagnosis, and the monarchy is already under pressure. Camilla, who has always been seen as his support system, is now facing her own private struggle at the exact moment she's expected to stay strong in public. Sources say the palace has urged everyone to stay quiet and keep things controlled. But silence doesn't erase what people are feeling. And behind those walls, the emotional weight is reportedly building. According to insiders, Camilla feels more isolated now than she has in years. That's a serious claim, especially for someone in her position. The real question is whether anyone in the family will step in and acknowledge what's happening, or if things have already gone too far to fix. Meanwhile, the press is watching closely. Veteran royal reporters know that when the palace says nothing, it usually means something big is being kept under wraps. And right now, that silence is louder than ever. And right in the middle of all this, Catherine. Whatever the truth is between Carole and Camilla, she's caught between two powerful forces. And that situation sounds incredibly difficult. She's the only real connection between these two women, and that puts her in a tough spot. Catherine loves her mother, no question. But she also knows her role beside William comes with serious responsibility. And let's not forget, she's still recovering from a major health scare. That's a lot to carry at once. People close to the household say she's been quietly trying to calm things down behind the scenes, working to stop her mother's decisions from tearing everything apart. Friends say this isn't new behavior for her either. Catherine has always been the one smoothing things over, the quiet fixer in tense situations. She was playing peacemaker long before any royal title came into the picture. But here's the problem. Carole Middleton is not someone who takes direction easily. It doesn't matter who's talking, even if it's her own daughter. She spent years guiding her family's path, so being told to step back now? That's not going down smoothly at all. People in Carole's circle insist this isn't about ego or trying to stir drama. They say every move she makes comes from a deep, almost intense need to protect Catherine. In her mind, she's doing the right thing no matter how it looks from the outside. But here's where it gets messy. Is she actually helping, or is she making everything worse without realizing it? That depends on who you ask. Those close to her swear there's no bad intent here, just a mother doing what she believes is best. But depending on how you see it, that can either make her look admirable or completely overwhelming. There's no middle ground, it's one or the other. And then there's William, stuck right in the middle of this situation too. He's spent years building the image of the dependable heir, especially after his brother stepped away from royal duties. He's been focused on stability, loyalty, and keeping things running smoothly. So any kind of tension between his stepmother and his in-laws? That's the kind of situation he definitely doesn't want out in the open. Reports suggest William has been holding private conversations with both Carole and palace staff, trying to get a handle on what's going on. No one knows exactly what's been said, but the fact he's involved at all tells you this isn't something minor. This is serious enough to need attention at the highest level. Whether those talks actually made a difference is still unclear. The palace has stayed completely silent, which usually means there's more going on than they want people to see. Meanwhile, Camilla reportedly hasn't reached out to William for support. Pride plays a role here. She's been through too much to suddenly start asking for help now. For years, she's handled pressure by staying composed and never letting emotions show, especially in front of the people who matter most. But according to those close to her, holding everything in is starting to take a toll. Every day she says nothing is another day the situation stays unresolved, and the people who could fix it still haven't stepped forward. When you strip away the titles and public appearances, this whole situation starts to look very human. Two women, both focused on protecting their families, now possibly caught on opposite sides of something that got out of control. Carole Middleton spent decades building a future for her children. Now her daughter is the Princess of Wales, and her grandchildren are directly in line to the throne. That didn't happen by accident. It took planning, patience, and a clear vision of where she wanted her family to go. She managed to enter a world that isn't easy to access, no matter how much money someone has. That kind of social shift takes strategy, timing, and persistence. But here's the twist. Even after all that effort, she still finds herself dealing with tension at the very top. It's almost ironic, spending years climbing into elite circles, only to face conflict once you're there. And that success may have come with challenges she didn't fully expect. Now look at Camilla's side. She's been through public criticism, rejection, and years of being misunderstood. Over time, she moved from being heavily judged to being accepted, at least publicly. The crown she wears now represents endurance more than anything else. But even that strength doesn't make someone untouchable. Reports suggest that this situation has affected her more deeply than expected. A decision made far from the palace, in a quiet home in Berkshire, has supposedly reached her in a very personal way. Royal commentators are starting to ask the big question. If this situation is real, can it actually be repaired? Because the monarchy depends heavily on the image of unity. Tension can stay hidden for a while, but eventually it shows, and when it does, it rarely looks controlled. History has seen many influential figures behind the scenes, people without titles who still shaped outcomes in powerful ways. Carole Middleton may not hold an official role, but her influence, at least according to these reports, is being felt at the highest level. If the rumors are accurate, Camilla is left dealing with something she can't openly address. A quiet frustration, a situation she has to carry without public reaction. And true to form, she's continued her duties without showing any visible cracks. That calm, steady image has been her approach for decades. But insiders claim that underneath it, there's real emotion building up. Whether that's accurate or not, it's the story currently circulating. At the same time, there are moments that don't fully match the narrative. Public appearances, like a shared laugh at Cheltenham, suggest things might not be as dramatic as they sound. And that's where it gets complicated. What's real and what's being exaggerated? The reality is probably somewhere in between. If any of this is true, both women have their reasons. Carole is focused on protecting her daughter, while Camilla may be reacting to feeling pushed aside. Neither side is completely simple, and the monarchy, as always, is caught balancing private emotions with public expectations. It has to keep the image steady, even when things behind the scenes are anything but. In the end, time will shape how this story is remembered. But if history has shown anything, it's that situations like this rarely end cleanly, especially for the women at the center of it all. And now everything comes down to what happens next. Because this situation can't stay in limbo forever. The tension, the silence, the quiet distance, it all builds up over time, and eventually something has to give. The royal family has survived scandals, heartbreak, and public pressure before, but this feels different in a subtle way that's hard to ignore. At its core, this isn't just about status or public appearances. It's about control, influence, and who really shapes the future behind the scenes. Carole Middleton may not wear a crown, but if these reports are even partly true, her decisions are echoing through the highest levels of the monarchy. That alone changes how people will start looking at her role moving forward. And then there's Queen Camilla, still holding her position, still doing her duties, but possibly carrying more than anyone realizes. She fought for acceptance for decades, and now she's expected to remain unshaken no matter what comes her way. That kind of pressure doesn't just disappear, it builds quietly. The biggest question is whether this distance turns into something permanent or if someone steps in before it goes too far. Because once these kinds of divides settle in, they don't just fade away, they reshape relationships. Bill Camel. And in a system like the monarchy, where image is everything, even small fractures can grow into something much bigger over time. Catherine may still be the key to holding things together. She understands both sides in a way no one else can, and that puts her in a powerful but incredibly difficult position. Trying to balance loyalty to her mother with her responsibilities inside the royal structure is not simple. It's a constant pressure that doesn't switch off. And William? He's watching all of this unfold while trying to protect the bigger picture. His role isn't just about family, it's about the future of the monarchy itself. Any instability now could follow him for years, and he knows that better than anyone. That's why every move, every conversation, and every decision happening behind closed doors matters more than it seems. What makes this situation even more intense is how little is being said publicly. Silence in the royal world is never just silence. It's strategy. It's controlled, measured, and often hiding something much louder underneath. And right now, that silence is impossible to ignore. Still, not everything is as clear as it looks. Public moments of normal interaction remind everyone that not all rumors reflect the full truth. A shared laugh, a brief appearance together, those moments suggest that things may not be completely broken. But at the same time, they don't erase the questions either. In the end, this story isn't just about conflict, it's about power, perception, and the fragile balance that holds everything together. Whether this tension fades quietly or turns into something bigger, one thing is certain: the dynamics inside the royal family are shifting, and people are starting to notice. And when those shifts happen at the very top, they don't stay hidden forever.